What is up, YouTube? Back for another project. We are still on our scrap wood campaign. So what we're doing today is a blank that we're turning into a bowl using this leftover scrap wood. So I have these small little beams that are, some of them are long, some of them are short. But essentially what I did was create a cardboard cutout box using some Sure tape. I silicone the inside of this. I'm starting to love these boxes. These are actually better for me than getting like Tupperware because I can create my own sizes and then just fill it with whatever I want. So it's watertight already. So what we're gonna do is cut these down, stack them inside of said box, and then we're gonna pour epoxy on the top of it. So that's what we're gonna do today. So we're going to make a bowl blank and then get that whole process started. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, subscribe button. So we're going to do that today. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I have to literally saw all this stuff because machine tools are loud and neighbors get upset. So let's get this started and make this blank. All right, here we go. So here I am mixing all of the epoxy. It's like 12 degrees in West Texas right now, so if you're ever using epoxy of any kind, make sure you bring it to room temperature because it really will not be as effective. This is a blue dye that I am using to mix the epoxy, and here we go with the pour. So obviously all kinds of pour problems. I used my freaking clamps to try to keep it from floating. Got epoxy everywhere, kept on going like some kind of child, and now it's pouring off all the sides. I'm panicking, but continuing to pour resin into this box. The box wasn't the problem as much as it was I should have glued the bottom part so nothing would float, which was my big fear. And then I get it in there and look, there it is, floating. So now I got to stack it and put a weight on top of it. So I'm like, freaking out. So here we go with the unboxing. Everything's glued to that cardboard that I had. So now we're just taking a Jason Voorhees knife and chopping away the box. This Sure tape is really good stuff. I didn't have to use any mold release or anything. It just came off real good. There's a lot of silicone still left on it, but that was okay. So then since I had to awkwardly put a weight on it, I'm just taking my Sawzall and cutting down parts that I typically won't need, and those top parts will come back to bite me in the ass later in the project, but we had to get all that material taken care of. So here we are on the lathe. I haven't had the chuck, so now I'm just trying to even everything out, get a good balance on everything, and here we are with the roughing gouge, trying to take care of all this stuff, and it's going well. My big fear always is because my tailstock doesn't go all the way to the forward position that I'm going to just not be able to catch it. But overall, this project went really well. You can see here I'm just removing a lot of material, getting some movement on the lathe, and then sharpening my roughing gouge. And no, I don't use a exact precise measurement when I sharpen my tools, which I know I should do, but I'm not that advanced yet to do that. So here I go again, trying to sharpen it, just eyeballing it. And yes, I know I'm ruining the tools, but it's working for me so far. So when I get a little bit more advanced, we'll do that. But so here we are, nice round, piece of wood so far, doing really great. And here I am. This is where I'm trying to form that butt of the blank where I can put the chuck jaws into it, and trying to adjust and using my gauge. So here we had some problems. So I had built the butt of it large enough to where I could put the chuck jaws on it, and it flew off the lathe. This happened to me a couple of times, and you can see there. So I did it again, got the butt of the blank, and I'm turning it, trying to gouge out the middle, and it freaking does not want to cooperate, and getting a lot of movement on the bowl, trying to go back, redo it, and it falls off again. So then I had to do it for a third time, and then finally those boards that I had on top were finally gone. So this is all raw material, and I was able to make a butt of the blank to where I could gouge out the middle. And I just recently am getting better at doing these gouges to where we just do the reverse on the chuck jaws. So all I have to do is take it out of the mold. So that went really well. With each project, I'm getting better and better at doing that. So There it is, and then I'm just roughing out the bottom because this is essentially the bottom of the bowl, so removing a lot of that material, getting all that cool looking webbing off of that. I love when that happens, when it just spins off the lathe. It's actually really cool. So just finishing up the middle, making it all nice and even, and I had to learn that the hard way. You got to make the bottoms even or it's going to warp on you. So now I got it reversed in the chuck jaws, and now we're just going to make, you know, essentially the shape of the bowl that we want. We're just taking off all of this material and just really evening it out. And if you're curious to why I put the chisel on top of the bowl or on top of the blank, it's just to see if it's smooth. If it runs smooth on top of the blank, that means that it's typically smoothed out. But I had some portions of this where it wasn't too smooth, so I had to come back and even it out. And if you don't even it out when you start gouging, it's a significant problem. So I actually had taken a handsaw and cut the butt of that off a little bit just to prevent from cutting the material. This is my least favorite part about gouging or about bowl making, is doing the gouging. It's just tedious, and I want to get like a drill or something. Some of the larger lathes come with devices where you can actually just drill in the center, and it saves time. Like, this part is just ugh. I like doing it, but it's just time consuming and very tedious to do. But since it was mostly wood and epoxy material, it was mostly wood material. It went relatively smooth. My big fear is always just gouging it out too thin and then one of the walls flying off. And I've done that in some prior videos where that's happened, but I'm getting better and better at it. It's just time consuming to do. Okay, so bowl is pretty much made. It looks absolutely stunning compared to the debauchery and the debacle that... Sorry, I can't get a good angle. I'm trying to just show you the lighting here. It looks amazing. Trying to give you the good angles here. See the inside of it? Looks really good. So now we're just going to get this sanded. I don't show sanding on this channel because sanding is super boring, but it looks amazing. Look at that. Okay, so let's get it sanded and then I'll show you the final product. So here I am putting on the wood wax. I love this wood wax. It really makes everything pop. I don't do any like Yorkshire grit yet because I'm not that good. Simple wood wax that you can pick up at Home Depot or Lowe's is just as good, and it really just makes it shine. Really happy the way this turned out. Just a little more buffing and we'll be done. Alright, so project is done, and look at that. Probably one of the better bowls I've ever made. So you saw all the struggle that we had with the epoxy resin. I don't know, I have done projects with epoxy so damn much, I don't understand how I keep screwing them up, but I keep learning, so next time I'm going to know, don't use clamps, because I actually, one of my DeWalt clamps is epoxy together and I can't use it anymore. But man, this turned out amazing. You can see, look here, let me show you all that fine detail in there. Look at that. Look how cool that looks. Turn it over. That one board has given this so much character, it's ridiculous. Look how cool that is. I'm sorry, the pup is running around being crazy, but look at that. Look at the inside of that. Absolutely stunning. Love this thing. So overall, really happy the way it turned out. We had a lot of problems with the biscuit that was on it, but man, this looks truly amazing. One of the better projects that I've ever done. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you really liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. The button's right there. Seriously, subscribe. Like it, share it, all that good stuff. But wow, look at that. Done. All right, so I gotta go clean up the garage, and I'll see you guys in the next project.